It's 1889. A man is running down a gravel path in the dark. Behind him, something enormous. And in a few moments, everything is about to change. Not because of what's behind him, because he believes it will. This is the Hound of the Baskervilles. It begins at Baker Street, as the best ones always do. A visitor left a walking stick the night before. No name, just the stick. Holmes picks it up and reads it the way other people read a book. A silver band engraved to a James Mortimer. Watson guesses, an older country doctor. Holmes corrects him. Young, not old. Walks long distances over rough ground. Keeps a medium-sized dog. You can see the teeth marks where the dog carried it. At that moment, the bell rings. Dr. James Mortimer is shown upstairs, young, thin, slightly distracted, and following at his heels, tongue out, pleased to be anywhere, a spaniel, medium-sized. Watson suppresses a smile. Mortimer sits down. Something is pressing on him. He reaches into his bag and takes out a manuscript. Very old. The paper yellow and brittle. The date at the top, 1742. Before I tell you about the present, he says, I need to tell you about the past. In the 1640s, the head of the Baskerville family was a man named Hugo. Wild, cruel, reckless. He became obsessed with the daughter of a local farmer. She wanted nothing to do with him. One night he captured her, brought her to Baskerville Hall, locked her in a room. While she was imprisoned upstairs, Hugo and his friends drank and made noise below, but the girl escaped. She climbed out of the window and ran across the moor in the darkness. When Hugo discovered she was gone, he said something that shocked even his own friends. He would give his soul to the devil if he could catch her. He set his hounds on her trail. He rode out alone after them. His friends followed more slowly. They found the hounds first, stopped, silent, trembling in a hollow of the moor, refusing to go further. In the hollow, two bodies. The girl, dead of exhaustion and terror, and Hugo Baskerville, dead beside her. Standing over Hugo's body, a creature, large as a hound, but not like any hound they had ever seen. Black, silent, its eyes burning in the darkness. As they watched, it tore at Hugo's throat. Then it turned and looked at them. They rode as fast as their horses could carry them, and did not stop until they reached the nearest town. Mortimer folds the manuscript. That is the legend. Since that night, many Baskervilles have died in violent or unexplained ways. The family has always said it is the curse. The hound, the price of Hugo's bargain. Holmes is very still. And the current matter? 3 months ago, Sir Charles Baskerville died. Found on the path behind the hall. A path called the Yew Alley, lined on both sides with old trees. The official verdict was heart failure. But, Holmes says, I was the first on the scene, before anyone else had touched anything, and I saw, near Sir Charles's body, the footprints of a gigantic hound. The room is very quiet. I said nothing at the time. I was afraid of causing panic. But they were there, fresh, unmistakable. Sir Henry Baskerville, the heir, is arriving from Canada. He has never been to Dartmoor, never seen Baskerville Hall. Mortimer looks at Holmes. I do not know whether to take him there, into what I fear is genuine danger, or to keep him away from his own inheritance. Bring him here tomorrow morning. Sir Henry arrives the next day, broad, dark, energetic. Before he has even sat down, he places something on the table, an envelope. Inside, a single sheet of paper. Words cut from a newspaper and pasted down. As you value your life or your reason, keep away from the moor. No signature. Postmarked London. Someone knows Sir Henry is here, knows he is going to Baskerville, and wants to stop him. That same day, 2 of his boots go missing from his hotel. One was brand new, bought the day before, never worn. Holmes says nothing, but Watson sees him filing this away. That evening, Holmes announces his decision. He will not go to Dartmoor himself. Watson will go alone. You won't come? I cannot leave London, but I need someone I trust completely to observe everything, report to me regularly, and above all, to keep him alive. Watson goes, and here the story expands, because Dartmoor is not just a setting. It is a character, a high, open moorland in Devon, ancient landscape, unchanged for thousands of years. Enormous granite rocks rise from the ground without explanation. The locals call them tors. The ground between them is boggy and unreliable. There are sections called the Great Grimpen Mire, where the ground looks solid but isn't, where a person or a horse can simply sink and disappear. Fog rolls in without warning. At night, the darkness is absolute. And into this landscape, Watson and Sir Henry arrive. Baskerville Hall is large, cold, and old, the kind of house that has absorbed centuries into its walls and hasn't let go. The servants, the Barrymores, are correct and polite and slightly strange. And at night, somewhere across the moor, there is a sound. Watson hears it on his second night. He is at his open window, looking out at the moor under the moon. Low at first, a long, low note, like something between a moan and a howl, then rising, then fading. He has heard dogs howl before. This is not quite that. Sir Henry, beside him at the window, is very pale. That's it, he says quietly. That's what Mortimer described. They don't sleep for the rest of the night. In the following days, Watson meets the neighbors. A naturalist named Stapleton, who lives on the edge of the moor. He studies the insects and plants with obsessive dedication. His sister, quiet, beautiful, nervous. Stapleton knows the moor better than anyone. He shows Watson the Great Grimpen Mire, points to the green patches of smooth-looking ground that are actually deep, liquid bog. Horrible place, Stapleton says lightly, watching a pony sink on the far side. Once it takes hold, there's no getting out. Meanwhile, Watson notices things. The Barrymores are hiding something. He sees Barrymore one night moving through the house with a candle, going to the window at the end of the hall and holding the light there, as if signaling, and far out on the moor, an answering light. Someone is out there in the darkness. Confronted, Barrymore confesses. His wife's brother, an escaped convict, is hiding on the moor. They have been bringing him food, and there is also a stranger. Watson has glimpsed him several times. A tall, thin figure standing on the high tors. Always at a distance. Always gone before Watson can get close. Holmes, Watson thinks. It has to be Holmes. He is right. Watson finds his hiding place. A Neolithic stone hut on the high moor. Inside, his bedroll. His pipe. His papers. Holmes has been here for days, watching the whole landscape from above. Holmes appears behind him, completely unsurprised. Excellent work, Watson. I knew you'd find me eventually. Watson is briefly furious. And then, as always, simply glad to see him. Holmes has formed a theory. Stapleton is not what he claims to be. The sister, Holmes says. Have you noticed that she seems frightened? Not of the moor. Of him, Watson has noticed. She is not his sister, she is his wife. He has used several names. He has a history of fraud. Holmes pauses. And there is one more thing. I found a portrait in Baskerville Hall, in the Gallery of Family Ancestors. 17th century. A man named Hugo Baskerville. Watson waits. If you cover the long hair and the old-fashioned clothes, and just look at the face, the resemblance to Stapleton is quite remarkable. Watson understands. He is a Baskerville, a distant branch, one that was not expected to inherit. But if Sir Henry dies, eventually the estate reaches him. The motive, the inheritance, the oldest motive in the world, and the Hound, Watson asks. Holmes is quiet for a moment. Real, completely real, not supernatural, a trained animal, a very large one. He keeps it in the Grimpen Mire, where no one will find it. He knows the safe paths through the bog. No one else does. The plan, as Holmes reconstructs it, Stapleton used the legend to cover his method. Sir Charles believed deeply in the curse. He was already afraid. He received a letter that drew him to the yew alley at night. There in the dark, the Hound was released. Sir Charles saw it. His heart gave out before it even reached him. The Hound killed him with terror, and the missing boot. Sir Henry's new boot stolen from his hotel. To give the Hound the scent, Watson says. Yes, wherever Sir Henry goes on the moor, it will find him. That night, everything comes together. Sir Henry has been invited to dinner at Stapleton's house. Holmes and Watson wait on the moor as he walks back afterward, alone, in the dark. The night is cold and clear. No fog. Good. Holmes needs to see. They wait. Watson has his revolver. Holmes is very still. And then, from somewhere in the direction of the Grimpen Mire, they hear it. That sound, the long, low note rising into something unmistakable. And out of the darkness, running, enormous. Faster than Watson expected. Its body streaming with an eerie luminescence. A hound, black as night. The size of a small horse, its mouth and outline glowing with a cold, pale fire. Sir Henry stumbles backward. He screams. Holmes fires. Watson fires. The hound yelps, hit but still moving. Still coming. They fire again, and the hound falls. 30 feet from Sir Henry, it lies still. Watson goes to it. An enormous crossbred hound, built for power and speed. Its coat treated with a phosphorescent preparation. A chemical that glows in the dark. A real animal, made to look like a demon. Sir Henry is unhurt, shaken, but alive. Holmes goes immediately toward the mire. But Stapleton has heard the shots. He ran when the hound fell. He knew the paths through the bog. But in his panic and the darkness, perhaps he misjudged. He is never found. The mire does not give back what it takes. His wife, his real wife, confirms everything. She had been a prisoner in her own marriage. Threatened, isolated, used. His careful, patient plan to inherit the Baskerville estate one death at a time. Later that evening, Watson and Holmes sit by the fire at Baskerville Hall. Sir Henry has gone to bed. The house is quiet. The moor outside is dark and still. Watson looks into the fire. The glowing coat, he says. That is what made it so frightening. It would have been frightening enough, Holmes says. But the glow made it something else. Something that matched the legend. Something the mind could not immediately categorize as real. He did not need the hound to be supernatural. He only needed it to appear supernatural for long enough. For the moment it took Sir Charles's heart to fail. Watson nods slowly. He used the legend as a weapon. He used fear as a weapon. The legend was just the delivery mechanism. Holmes looks at the fire. Fear is the most reliable weapon there is, Watson. It doesn't require physical force. It doesn't require proximity. It works through the victim's own mind, which is almost always more creative in its terrors than reality could ever be. Watson thinks about Sir Charles. alone at the end of the yew alley, seeing something luminous and enormous running from the darkness, already afraid because he believed, and the belief itself doing the final work. The Hound was real, Watson says. But what killed Sir Charles was not the Hound. No, says Holmes. What killed Sir Charles was 200 years of stories. That is the end of the Hound of the Baskervilles. Before we finish, I want to say something about why this story still holds its power. Most detective stories work by removing fear. The detective arrives, names the criminal, and order is restored. But this story does something different. For most of it, it doesn't feel like a detective story. It feels like a horror story. The fog, the moor, the glowing creature, these belong to a different genre entirely. Conan Doyle is playing with something deep in the way we respond to stories. The part of our brain that is afraid of the dark. That part is activated here, even in readers who rationally know that Holmes will solve everything. And when the explanation comes, when the glow is a chemical and the curse is a fraud, there is a double feeling, relief that it is natural, but also a tiny shadow of disappointment, because the rational explanation is less extraordinary than the supernatural one. That tension is at the heart of the Gothic tradition. You find it in Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, which is almost a direct descendant of this story. A lonely house, a mysterious past, a secret that has been buried and won't stay buried. All these stories use fear to get at something true, something about the power that legends have over the people who believe them. Here is something to think about. In this story, belief is literally deadly. Sir Charles died partly because he believed in the legend. Can belief in something, even something that isn't real, affect what happens to us? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Next time, Holmes comes back from the dead. After 3 years of silence, after Watson's grief, after the world moved on without him, Sherlock Holmes knocks on Watson's door, and Watson, who is sensible and brave, and has survived war and adventure and danger of every kind, faints. That story is called The Adventure of the Empty House, and it is one of the most joyful reunions in all of English literature. I'll see you there.